It's Wednesday, October 8th.
And now, and I'm running out of time, but this is, in many respects, the most important.
The
what
merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going.
Prime Minister Mark Carney leaves Washington without a deal as U.S. President Donald Trump once again hints at his threats to annex Canada.
It's a drive down the line. If it's fair, it's his moment. It is. It's tied.
The Toronto Blue Jays can't fend off Aaron Judge at Yankee Stadium as New York staves off elimination in the ALDS.
And Dolly Parton's sister asks fans for prayers as the country music icon deals with health issues. Your Morning Ottawa starts right now.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Rosie Eden.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb. And a soggy day yesterday. My goodness, we got way more rain than we anticipated. We were calling for about 20 millimeters, and we got almost 60. Just
It was
under.
a lot.
It was pouring too. It was heavy at times. So I was
sure
looking
was.
outside just to make sure, like, free car wash for sure, but I was looking, I was like, it just wouldn't stop.
It wouldn't stop. But the good news is we got some rain because we've been desperately needing some rain. So at least now the grass is a little bit happier than it was a couple weeks ago.
I love those moody days.
Oh, me too. Great for sleeping.
And you've also got some good news for us.
I do. The CTV Your Morning 20K giveaway continues this week, so make sure you are watching every single hour for the daily code word, and of course, your chance to win that $20,000.
So what you got to do is keep an eye out a little bit later on this hour for today's code word and your chance to get in to win that $20,000 each and every day. We will have a brand new code word for you to win the 20 grand.
So exciting.
It is very exciting. What is not exciting is, unfortunately, if you're a Jays fan, yesterday. It's a good call.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that right away. So Game 4 of the 5-game series kicks off tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays look to clinch their playoff series against the Yankees in New York. But last night, they gave up an early lead.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out.
Looked good to start. Superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kick-started the Jays offense with a home run, but the Yankees stormed back from a 6-1 deficit, exploding for 8 straight runs to win 9-6. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch a spot in the American League Championship Series tonight at 7 p.m. for Game 4 in the series.
The supervisor appointed by the province to oversee Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping the highly debated elementary program review. Families receiving a letter saying, after extensive consultation with parents, educators, and students, I have concluded that the changes planned to elementary education would have been highly disruptive for these reasons. The elementary program review with trustee-approved changes will not proceed. Trustees approved the review in May. It included a slate of changes to programs, grade structures, and boundaries. It would have forced around 1,500 more students than normal to change schools next September. It also would have eliminated middle school French immersion and closed alternative schools. The supervisor says more details about the new approach will be shared in the months ahead. The U.S. president expressed a shift in tone towards Canada during a critical sit-down with the prime minister at the White House, but it wasn't enough to get a resolution or even a partial one across the finish line.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
Yesterday's meeting comes after months of Trump slapping massive tariffs on Canada and other countries, and Mark Carney's second trip to the White House since being elected prime minister. Attending with Carney was Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, Industry Minister Melanie Joly, and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson. Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kirsten Hillman, was also in the meeting.
A judge handing down 18-month conditional sentences to the 2 leaders of the Freedom Convoy, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, at the Ottawa courthouse. Leach and Barber left court to cheers and applause. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a curfew for 6 months, and Leach will have one for 3.5. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it did not absolve them of liability. Here's more from Leach and Barber's lawyer.
We are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief. But as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think the judge wanted to make sure in her decision today and even in her decision on conviction that protest is allowed. That's not the issue. It's the manner of the protest.
There's also a civil class action lawsuit seeking hundreds of millions of dollars in damages.
Ottawa police are looking to identify a person of interest in connection with a deadly stabbing last week. A man was found with multiple stab wounds on St. Laurent Boulevard last Thursday morning, but died in hospital. Since then, he has been identified as 55-year-old Justin James Weir. Investigators released this video yesterday of a man who was seen in the area around the time of the fatal incident. Police are asking anyone with information about him to contact the homicide unit.
Local landscapers may soon have to get a license to do their work as the city looks to stop contractors from doing work that doesn't comply with municipal zoning laws. The city report recommends a new business license requirement for hardscaping contractors operating in Ottawa. If approved, contractors who install interlock or pave on private property would need to obtain a license from the city. It would cost $441 every year.
Nuit Blanche, an all-night art festival, is returning to Ottawa.
The name means sleepless night. The art festival will take place over one night next October. It will include local talent as well as cultural events.
People can get a sneak peek next Friday with a special free acrobatic performance and parade in the Byward Market. Ottawa's night commissioner says more details will be announced as we get closer to the event. Can you say excited?
Yes.
I'm very excited about this. This is a really fun night. I mean, it's all night long. I mean, we had it in Toronto when I lived there, and the city just comes alive and stays alive. It's a lot of fun.
Sleepless nights. I've been doing that for 3 nights in a row
Yeah,
now.
but no art involved, though, right?
No,
just babies.
Sick
Sorry.
babies at home, yes, which means no sleep for mom and dad.
One's very enjoyable and the other is not so much.
Yeah.
I look
both are free.
I look forward to that kind of sleepless night, though, with art installations.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It looked absolutely beautiful, so look forward to that. For us in our forecast today, not so bad temperature-wise. It will be slightly above seasonal. However, we could see some more spotty showers into the afternoon, so your daytime high for today is 15 degrees. Into your average temperatures around this time of year, 14.5, so we'll just be a little bit above that. Record high 26.5, so we won't be breaking a record anytime later on today. We are expecting some spotty showers later on this afternoon. There's a 30% chance of seeing these scattered showers late this afternoon, starting around 1 o'clock, continuing till about 5. So just a quick little sprinkle, nothing much like what we saw yesterday. 58.6 millimeters of rain was what was registered at the Ottawa airport. For our forecast today, not so bad. We will see a cloudy start to your morning, chance of showers this afternoon, then sunny and warm throughout the day ahead. So no warnings to report for us here in Ottawa. We are okay, but to the north of us, there is a frost warning for some areas as well. So we are expecting some spotty showers late this afternoon. Overall, though, things are looking pretty good throughout the day ahead. Temperatures today reaching that high of 15. Could see those spotty showers, but also seeing a mix of sun and cloud throughout the early morning hours. 12 degrees over in Pembroke, 10 in Bancroft, 15 for Trenton, Kingston into your afternoon as well. So overall, temperature is fairly seasonal, just slightly above seasonal. I like to say that it's slightly above, just makes maybe feel a little bit warmer. 15 as well in Gatineau, 13 over in Mont-Tremblant. So not a bad looking day for us. We will see more sunshine than, of course, we did see yesterday. But then in our 7-day forecast is where we will see all of that sunshine starting tomorrow. Cooler temps for us tomorrow, though. 12 degrees is the high, and our overnight lows tonight into tomorrow. 1 tonight, 0 tomorrow. So we could see a frost warning in effect as we head into Friday and in through the weekend forecast. Temperatures much warmer, above seasonal, and lots of sunshine into Thanksgiving. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at your time saver traffic. No major issues to report. Traffic is smooth sailing this hour, so things are looking good. Here is your TSN must-see moment.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for this one, we are taking a trip to the Bronx. It is Game 3 of the ALDS. You got the Blue Jays and Yankees, top 5 here. This game tied up at 6s, and Anthony Santander lines it hard to right. Aaron Judge doing Aaron Judge things. A spectacular diving grab for the out. Got it done with his bat and his glove in this one, and he earns your must-see moment. Meanwhile, today on TSN, we've got Game 3 of the WNBA Finals between the Aces and Mercury. It all begins at 7 p.m. Central Time over on TSN 3 and 4. It's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Well, still ahead on your morning, Ottawa.
They're using this important funding as a way to reward conservative insiders.
Doug Ford under fire after grants from a provincial fund were traced to lobbyists with ties to the premier. That's coming up a little bit later on in our show. We're taking a peek through our Centennial Glass Skycam, and it is dark out there for now at 6:11 on your Wednesday morning. Temperatures will not feel as warm as they have over the last couple of days, but we're not seeing nearly as much rainfall as we did yesterday. Full details and forecast coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa for the daily code word. Then enter it online at ctvottawa.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa, weekday morning 6 to 9.
Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Here are the big stories we are following today on Your Morning Ottawa. The Ottawa Carleton District School Board Supervisor is scrapping the controversial elementary program review, which included changes to programs, grade structures, and school boundaries. Convoy leaders Tamara Leach and Chris Barber have been placed on house arrest after being found guilty of mischief charges related to the 2022 occupation of downtown Ottawa. And the Toronto Blue Jays failed to sweep the Yankees in Game 3 of the ALDS last night. New York beats Toronto 9-6 in the Bronx.
It seemed like the rainfall was never going to let up yesterday. Just a little bit of a sprinkle this morning. Temperatures not nearly as warm, especially compared to the last couple of days where we got up to 30 degrees. Basically slicing that in half as we get to the afternoon. Still a chance for some showers, but we are looking very nice as we get into the weekend forecast. So things are looking up. And on your roads at this hour, nothing major to report. Still a little bit slippery out there just due to the rainfall that we saw yesterday. As any collisions or traffic stops come up this morning, we will be sure to let you know. Well, Canada's federal government is now reviewing a multi-billion-dollar jobs training program in Ontario in the wake of a scathing provincial auditor general report that found recipients were more often driven by politics than merit. CTV's John Woodward reports.
This is more than training. This is transformational.
That's according to this video by the King Animal Hospital about its grant from the Ontario Skills Development Fund to train at least 100 registered veterinary technicians in a luxurious campus north of Toronto.
We have a gym, we have 2 kitchens, we have a lounge area.
CEO Tracy Jones said in a statement, "We are addressing a critical workforce shortage requiring specific critical care skills, reducing turnover, and strengthening the province's animal health care system."
Keep going, Marmaduke. You can do it. You're a good boy.
The animal hospital hired a lobbyist to get that grant, something Ontario's Auditor General flagged in her review of the $2.5 billion fund that has been criticized for funding private skills training at bars, dentists, a bakery, even a casino, amidst a crisis in public colleges. CTV News looked at the data. We found at least $100 million in grants obtained with the help of a lobbyist. The lion's share, at least $82 million, tracked to one company, Rubicon Strategy, run by Premier Doug Ford's former campaign manager, Corey Tenike.
It seems, they're using this important funding as a way to reward conservative insiders.
Ford defending the program at the legislature today.
The Skills Development Fund is one of the best programs we've ever put together. It's created over 700,000 opportunities for people.
But Canada's federal government, which has provided funding for jobs training, says it's reviewing the report from the Auditor General. A spokesperson for Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu said, "We will also be engaging with the Government of Ontario on this matter to undertake full due diligence and seek mitigation measures to ensure funding is used effectively and transparently for our labour market agreements."
It's our money, it's on our budget, it's on our books.
Ford saying the grants are crucial for the province's economy. Critics saying they could be a whole different animal. John Woodward, CTV News.
Prime Minister Mark Carney returns to Canada today without a trade deal after a high-profile meeting with Donald Trump in Washington on Tuesday. Why don't we bring in Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA to hear what he has to say about this. Good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning. To be honest, I'm still nauseous watching at the scene of these two men laughing and joking while Canadians are worried about their jobs, about their future. Canada Mortgage and Housing saying yesterday that there are going to be many defaults. A wave is the word they used, a wave of mortgage defaults and late payments. We're in trouble here. And you've got these two leaders laughing and joking and complimenting each other, patting each other on the backs. Look, I can understand. You go to the White House, you want to get along, you don't want to be confrontational unless you absolutely have to be. That's one thing. But this level of I don't even know what the word for it is. It just, this watching our prime minister sucking up to Donald Trump, fawning, there's the word, fawning all over him and getting nothing in return. Again, coming back home empty-handed. How long will it be before Canadians wake up and see that this is not working, that the man we elected because specifically we thought he could deal with Donald Trump is not up to the task? It's clearly not happening. There better be some behind-the-scenes strategy going on here that's going to pay off big time, because as a Canadian, I'm left embarrassed and frightened by what's been going on right now. This is kind of predictable to me. You go down to Washington, you've already given back all of your bargaining chips, right? All the counter tariffs have come off the table. What was left to do? You have nothing left to give Donald Trump, except now we've gone from taking our bargaining chips off the table. We're going to stop tariffing, counter tariffing your products. How about we give you $1 trillion while we're at it? That's what he promised yesterday. The Prime Minister, $1 trillion of Canadian investment money going into the U.S. What happened to building our own economy up? But this is where you find yourself, right? You take off all the irritants, all the things that get on Donald Trump's nerves, and now you have nothing left to do except to start to bribe him. And again, to no effect, that I'm actually seeing people defending him saying, well, at least this time Donald Trump seems to like us. That's not even close to enough. I mean, that's a sign of psychological abuse now when we're happy just not to be picked on today.
Meeting number 2 as Prime Minister with the U.S. President in Washington. And like you said, it was a lot of smiles. But you know what, Bill? I know you felt a little bit embarrassed to see Prime Minister Carney smiling with Donald Trump. But indeed, many, many leaders who have visited Donald Trump are seen smiling and grinning as well, like Sir Keir Starmer, for example.
I know this is part of the problem. The entire world is just backing down to this man. Nobody wants to stand up. Imagine if the rest of the world collectively said no to Donald Trump, what a different attitude there might be. But that's not what's happening. I understand, Rosie, that Mark Carney's in a difficult position, but he could show a little toughness. This meeting also happened on the same day Maclean's came out with a piece on Mark Carney on how tough a boss he is. I mean, read the article. It comes this close to calling him a bully. So, he's tough to everyone below him, but then he sees Donald Trump and he can't even look him in the eye and stand up to him. It's all fawning and ingratiating, and he's representing us. That was not, for me, that's not the man I would have sent to Washington to do that job. I mean, at least show a little backbone. If only Doug Ford could handle that meeting instead of Mark Carney, I think we'd be all a little bit better off. Actually, there wouldn't have been a yesterday. I think we would have been better off months ago.
Thank you so much, Bill. You have a good show.
Day.
And remember, you can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
Well, it is Fire Safety Week here on CTV Your Morning Ottawa. Lithium-ion batteries are everywhere, but are they putting you at risk? Stay tuned a little bit later on to learn about the hidden dangers that you might not be aware of. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street. Umbrellas, potentially necessary, but I think we can put them away for the weekend as some sunshine will reappear as we get into a beautiful fall weekend ahead. Stay with us. It's 6:22 on your Wednesday morning.
It is Fire Safety Week, so today on Your Morning Ottawa, we are asking for your comments on what is your fire safety plan. Let us know your thoughts. Email us, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Melissa?
All right, everybody looks over at me because I live with a volunteer firefighter. So in his off season, Nigel is a volunteer firefighter with the Ottawa Fire. So I have asked him many times, like, what is my plan? And I go through scenarios. If the fire was here, what should I do with the kids? What about if we were up? What about if we were sleeping? So I have all of the scenarios up here in my head. And the good news is by having a plan in place, apparently you just go into action. You don't have to think twice about what I do. You just go into action. So we have a solid plan in place if anything were to happen. And like I go through the scenarios a lot of the time. If there was a fire, let's say at our washing machine, it's right in front of my son's window. But we can go out one window and walk over to the next window of the roof of the house. So like we have an escape plan if we can't access his bedroom door, how we can get into his room, because the roof of the house, you can come out the other window on the other side and walk along and go in through his window. We have a little bashing device if I need to bash the windows. We have all of the things planned. I know.
Do you have that ladder that just sort of unfolds and you can?
We don't, but I need to get one of those.
I've seen that before and I was like,
you know what?
That's an idea.
And growing up, my parents had a mask, they had the ladder, they had a little kit. I remember it was hidden in my parents' closet. So I remember as a kid we had an escape plan, and as a parent it was one of those things I was like, I need to know what I need to do if it happens.
After all that, I feel extremely unprepared.
We're going to get you prepared.
I'm going to have to know. It's a good thing I'm doing that interview today.
Yeah.
So we'll be hearing from you a little bit later on the show. That's what we're asking. What is your fire safety plan? Send us your comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
And coming up, Dolly Parton's sister is asking for prayers for the legendary singer as she battles health issues. We'll tell you more on this a little bit later.
Good morning, happy Wednesday. I'm Rosie Eddet.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb, and I hope everybody is okay after the very soggy day yesterday. My goodness.
You warned us.
Yeah, we didn't think we were going to get that much rain. We were looking at about 20 millimeters, and we ended up with just under 60. That's how much rain we got yesterday. Yeah, 58.6 is what was recorded at the Ottawa airport yesterday.
And what you were saying was that was probably more than we had like through the month of September.
The entire month of August. We had more rain in one day than the entire month of August. Yeah, it's wild.
So dry.
It's been so dry. So we definitely needed a little bit of rain, but now things are nice and soggy and lots of puddles for kids this morning.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it wasn't raining in New York last night, so the Jays don't have an excuse for that. That's our top story as we get into our newscast. Game 4 of the 5-game series kicks off tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays look to clinch their playoff series against the Yankees in New York last night, but they gave up an early lead.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out!
It's a good start. Superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kick-started the Jays offense with a home run, but the Yankees stormed back from a 6-1 deficit, exploding for 8 straight runs to win 9-6. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch a spot in the American League Championship Series tonight at 7 p.m. That will be game number 4 in the series.
The supervisor appointed by the province to oversee Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping the highly debated elementary program review. Families receiving a letter saying, after extensive consultation with parents, educators, and students, I have concluded that the changes planned to elementary education would have been highly disruptive. For these reasons, the elementary program review with trustee-approved changes will not proceed. Trustees approved the review in May. It included a slate of changes to programs, grade structures, and boundaries. It would have forced around 1,500 more students than normal to change schools next September. It also would have eliminated middle school French immersion and closed alternative schools. The supervisor says more details about the new approach will be shared in the months ahead. The U.S. president expressed a shift in tone towards Canada during a critical sit-down with the Prime Minister at the White House, but it wasn't enough to get a resolution or even a partial one across the finish line.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
Yesterday's meeting comes after months of Trump slapping massive tariffs on Canada and other countries. And Mark Carney's second trip to the White House since his being elected prime minister. Attending with Carney was Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, Industry Minister Melanie Joly, and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson. Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kirsten Hillman, was also in the meeting.
A judge handing down 18-month conditional sentences to the two leaders of the Freedom Convoy, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, at the Ottawa courthouse. Leach and Barber left court to cheers and applause. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a curfew for 6 months, and Leach will have one for 3.5. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it did not absolve them of liability. Here's more from Leach and Barber's lawyers.
We are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief. But as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think the judge wanted to make sure in her decision today and even in her decision on conviction that protest is allowed. That's not the issue. It's the manner of the protest.
And take a look at this. Before the sentencing hearing started, our cameras caught a scuffle outside the courthouse between supporters. Punches were thrown, and one person ended up being arrested.
Ottawa police are looking to identify a person of interest in connection with a deadly stabbing last week. A man was found with multiple stab wounds on St. Laurent Boulevard last Thursday morning, but died in hospital. Since then, he has been identified as 55-year-old Justin James Weir. Investigators released this video yesterday of a man who was seen in the area around the time of the fatal incident. Police are asking anyone with information about him to contact the homicide unit.
Local landscapers may soon have to get a license to do their work as the city looks to stop contractors from doing work that doesn't comply with municipal zoning laws. A city report recommends a new business license requirement for hardscaping contractors operating in the capital. If approved, contractors who install interlock or pave on private property would need to obtain a license from the city. It would cost $441 every year.
And your morning just got a whole lot richer because we're still giving away that $20K, and it's time for your daily code word.
Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. How about a dream vacation or home renovations, paying off bills? Oh, the possibilities are endless.
Maybe go join our friends Ashley and Gord down in Jamaica. Ooh. Today's code word is treat. Head to the contest page on ctvottawa.ca, or you can scan that QR code on the right side of your screen. Enter code word TREAT along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Ottawa's $20,000 giveaway. You got to tune in the rest of the week, though, during the weekdays, because we will have a brand new code word for you. Good luck to all. And
what's that code word?
Treat.
Treat. Treat, treat. Can't forget that. There you go.
Especially as we get up to Halloween. I just think trick or treat. So it's treat. So you take it as you will.
There you go. I prefer the treats.
Yeah.
Than the tricks. Don't give me a trick.
If someone wants to give me $20K at trick or treating, I'm all for that too.
That's a nasty trick too. That's a much preferred treat.
Yes, exactly. Our forecast today, not nearly as wet as it was yesterday. My goodness, we saw so much rain, heavy at times as well. We saw about 58.6 millimeters of rain. To start off your day, a little little bit cloudy out there. We're seeing some sunshine as well, but there is a chance of scattered showers into your afternoon. Don't worry, because your long weekend is looking beautiful, sunny and very, very warm. Current conditions sitting at 8 degrees, partly cloudy skies to start things off. And similar across the region, 7 currently in Pembroke, double digits for Trenton, Kingston, as well as Brockville, 12 currently over in Montreal. So not a bad looking start to your morning. Tomorrow will be a lot cooler than today. So some areas seeing these spotty little showers out there to start off your day. For us, it looks like we could see some scattered showers between 1 and about 5 p.m. That's when we could see a little bit of spotty showers in the forecast for us. Won't last too long and would, of course, clear up in the overnight for us, making way for so much sunshine as we head into tomorrow, and lots of that as well as we head into the long weekend. So conditions today just slightly above seasonal. It's 14.5 is the norm. We're going to be 15 degrees, so really seasonal-like weather for this afternoon. 12 in Pembroke, 10 in Bancroft, 15 for Trenton, Kingston. Same with us here in Ottawa and along the Seaway for Kittigan-Zibi today, a daytime high of 10 degrees. So some areas seeing a few spotty showers. Some areas will see a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Overnight tonight, that's when it's going to get cool. So we could see a frost advisory being issued later on this afternoon. Keep an eye out for that as we drop to 1 degree. 12 for tomorrow, but those overnight lows hovering around that freezing mark. 0 is the overnight low for Thursday, so likely could still see a frost warning as we head into the next few days into our overnights. Friday, nice and sunny, 16 is the high, and then it will get warmer as we head into the weekend forecast. Temperatures climbing into the high teens.
Weather brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
And we do have a collision right now, 417 heading east near Greenbank Road. It is causing major delays and backups as far as the 416, so give yourself some extra time if you are heading that way this morning.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers, 1-800-JUSTICE.
Well, coming up in Your Morning Ottawa, we check in with CTV News correspondent Scott Hurst because he's bringing us the latest on the start of the NHL season for Canadian teams, including our very own Ottawa Senators. That's coming up just ahead. We're taking a peek through our sky cam, and again, 6:40 on your Wednesday morning. Not a lot of precipitation out there, especially when you compare it to what we saw yesterday. More rain yesterday than the entire month of August. That's just to give you a little taste. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay here are the big stories happening today on Your Morning Ottawa. The Ottawa Carleton District School Board Supervisor is scrapping the controversial elementary program review, which included changes to programs, grade structures, and school boundaries. Convoy leaders Tamara Leach and Chris Barber have been placed on house arrest after being found guilty of mischief charges related to the 2022 occupation of downtown Ottawa. And the Toronto Blue Jays failed to sweep the Yankees in Game 3 of the ALDS last night. New York bests Toronto 9-6 in the Bronx.
In our forecast today, we could see some more scattered showers into the afternoon, but not nearly as much rain as we did see yesterday. Mix of sun and cloud to start things off. Those scattered showers between 1 and 5, just a little sprinkle. 15 degrees is your daytime high. Our overnight lows over the next couple days will be quite cool, dropping down to around that freezing mark. So we could see a frost advisory issued later on this afternoon. Pure sunshine for Thursday and for Friday. Cooler temperatures tomorrow, but then above seasonal towards the end of the work week. On your roads this morning, there is still an incident on the Queensway. It is causing major delays right now. As you can see, lots of brake lights this morning if you are heading east as far back as the 416. So give yourself some extra time if you are heading this way this morning.
4 Canadian teams kick off their NHL seasons tonight and a little bit more on Thursday, including the Ottawa Senators. CTV News correspondent Scott Hurst joins us to help set up the season. Good morning to you, Scott.
Hey, Will, good morning. Let's go. Here we drop the puck.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of excitement right now when you talk about the Toronto Blue Jays and everyone hoping that they can get that series win tonight. But now we focus on hockey and, you know, lots of excitement for Canadian teams. And, of course, we're here in Ottawa. We got to get the scoop. What can you tell us about the Sens?
Yeah, hopefully on the baseball front, the Jays can keep their season going. But of course, there's always this beautiful crossover in the spring and the fall when there's one season, the anticipation of the hockey season getting going, and of course, baseball season kicking into high gear. Now, the NHL season is already underway. Even before any of the Canadian teams hit the ice, we've already seen the banner raised. Of course, Florida going back-to-back, and we've even seen some punches thrown. So the NHL season is already in high gear. Now, tonight, we have classic Canadian matchups, Toronto versus Montreal, Calgary versus Edmonton, the Battle of Alberta. As you mentioned, for Sens fans, you'll have to wait one more night for your team to kick off its season. They'll begin on the road in Tampa Bay tomorrow night, and then the home opener for Sens fans to see the team in action back home will be on Monday. And as you know, it's a team and a fan base now wanting more after years of rebuilding. Getting to the playoffs for the first time in 7 years last year is that taste that they needed of the playoffs, a little bit of playoff experience. Hopefully that can go a long way this year through the regular season and, of course, into the postseason. And it's one of those times, one of those years now after this rebuilding, they'll have to then prove that they belong well.
Yeah, of course, a little bit of pressure now that they've made the playoffs after that long stint of being out, so a lot of excitement around the entire city. I have to ask you one question, though, because this has kind of sparked a lot of controversy around the league and a lot of surprise comments, especially from Austin Matthews with the Toronto Maple Leafs, talking about the Connor McDavid contract. And it seems like he took a, we'll call it a bit of a discount on that one.
Well, at the very least, there's a huge collective sigh of relief in oil country. Connor McDavid signing that contract extension at a relatively good rate, as you mentioned, considering he is the best player on the planet. Of course, the team looking to avenge the sting of back-to-back Stanley Cup losses. And if we do a quick run through some of the other Canadian teams in Toronto, two big questions. What's life without Mitch Marner going to look like, and can Austin Matthews stay healthy? In Montreal, a similar situation to Ottawa, getting a taste of playoff action last year after a string of rebuilding years. In Calgary, they're looking to get back to the playoffs, and they got oh so close last year. Vancouver's looking to put the storm clouds from last season behind them. They have a new coach, and at puck drop, it appears they're healthy and ready to go. Hopefully that they can get back to the playoffs after some disappointment last year. And Winnipeg, the best team on paper last year, but not when it counted. In the regular season, they did really well, but some playoff disappointments. And can 37-year-old Jonathan Toews, the hometown boy, make a comeback? So that's a quick kind of wrap-up of your Canadian teams as we get ready for hockey season. Will, always a good time.
Yeah, lots of excitement if you're a sports fan in every category. Appreciate your time, Scott. Have a good day, my friend.
Thanks, Will. You too.
It's Fire Safety Week, so today on Your Morning Ottawa, we asked for your comments on what is your fire safety plan, and here's what you had to say. Will.
Richard says have at least 2 fire extinguishers, smoke alarms on each floor, including a carbon monoxide alarm, and some battery lights. We also have escape plans.
Yes, I love the escape plans. Elaine says, my plan is simple. I always keep important items close by an exit, and when my fire alarm goes off, I grab that bag and my dog and get out. Material things can be replaced, lives cannot.
Grab that dog.
Yes.
So important indeed, absolutely. Hey, thanks so much for chiming in here. It's Fire Safety Week, and our question is, what is your fire safety plan? We're going to hear more from you later in the show, and that's the question. And you can leave your comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
Still ahead, your chance to win a trip for 2 to Jamaica. Woo-hoo! We check in with Pure Country 94's Ashley and Gord from beautiful Sandals South Coast Resort in Jamaica.
And here's a live look, not from Jamaica, from our Skycam on George Street. Looking a little bit different.
From the beach to the street.
From the beach to the street. There you go. We'll leave it at that for now. Stay with us at 6:49. We'll be right back.
Pure Country 94 wants to send you to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. We're giving away an all-inclusive Caribbean vacation for 2 every weekday. Listen for your chance to win. Pure Country Passport with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
time for your morning fix, and Dolly Parton's sister is asking the country music legend's fans for support as Dolly deals with an unnamed health challenge. Dolly's sister Frida posted on Facebook last night that she had been up all night praying for her sister. She writes, "I have been led to ask all of the world that loves her to send prayers and warriors and pray with me." Dolly, who is 79 years old, recently had to postpone several concerts in Las Vegas due to health challenges. Don't know what's going on, but obviously our prayers and thoughts are with Dolly and her family, and hopefully she makes a speedy recovery.
You know, it has to be serious. She's such a consummate performer. She will be there performing for her fans, and if she can't, she's obviously not well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Grammy Award winner country singer Zach Bryan has split some of his fans with a politically charged song. Bryan posted a teaser for his new song over the weekend. It contains lyrics that appear to reference immigration raids in a negative way. While common in forms of music like rock progressive lyrics can be commercially treacherous for country artists, they tend to rely on a generally more politically conservative fan base. I haven't seen what the lyrics are, but now I'm super intrigued. He is a bit of a controversial country music star. Like, he does seem to have controversy and a bit of drama that does follow him.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So, like, I'm not surprised that he would make a, politically charged song, but as to his reasons, I don't know.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see, like, when people are constantly brought up in the drama scenes. It's like, do you like it a little bit? Do you want to kind of stir the pot, regardless of the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, exactly. And the skies over Albuquerque, New Mexico are awash with color this week, drawing some major attention. The city is hosting the world's largest hot air balloon festival. About 500 balloons from across the globe are sky high for the 53rd edition of the annual event, and they are creating a spectacular sight. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to attend before the 9-day fiesta ends on Sunday. Look at that.
Always cool.
Gorgeous.
Look at them, they're pretty close to each other.
Right? Beautiful. I love to take it in from afar, from a distance. We had one land really close to our house this summer. It went right over, like, when I kid you not, like, it just skimmed the roofs of our houses, and my kids were in awe because seeing it up so close, like, you could see the fire, you could see the people in the basket. It was exciting, and it landed in the field just by our house, and it was so cool. But I would never have the courage to get in.
I know, right? I wonder if it landed by your house and, like, come on, Melissa, come on in. And you're like, no.
Your kids would run out and be like, no.
We're not going in there. Yeah, no, something makes me very nervous. But I know people love it. And apparently, because when I covered the Gatineau Hot Air Balloon Festival in Gatineau, they said, like, even people who are afraid of heights are usually fine in a hot air balloon. So
maybe we test the theory.
Yeah, no,
try it out.
Not with me.
Coming up in the next hour at 7:10, the Ottawa Mission needs your help to make Thanksgiving a reality for everyone. At 7:20, we are going to check in with Pure Country 94's Ashley and Gord from beautiful Sandals South Coast Resort in Jamaica. 7:45, if you got invited to a Thanksgiving dinner that is not your parents', okay, we're going to give you the top 5 ways to make a good impression. You don't want to miss all of that. That's coming up after the break. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. You're watching CTV Your Morning Ottawa.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sanaya Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
The supervisor for Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping controversial changes to elementary school programs in Ottawa.
It's a drive down the line. If it's fair, it's his moment. It is. It's tied.
The Toronto Blue Jays can't fend off Aaron Judge at Yankee Stadium as New York staves off elimination in the ALDS.
And the Ottawa Mission needs your help to make sure it can feed thousands of people this weekend for its annual Thanksgiving meal service. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning, come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb, and we're going to be doing a little turkey talk later with the Ottawa Mission, finding out about why they need turkeys desperately and how the Canada Post strike is also affecting them. So, and we'll also learn how you can help.
Yeah, which is so wonderful, and maybe we're going to get some above seasonal temperatures for our Thanksgiving Day. Maybe we'll return to seasonal. Melissa will have all those details coming up, but we're going to get right to our news headlines, and we're talking sports right away. Game 4 of the 5-game series kicks off tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays look to clinch their playoff series against the New York Yankees in New York last night, but they gave up an early lead.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out!
Superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kick-started the Jays offense with a home run. The Yankees stormed back from a 6-1 deficit, exploding for 8 straight runs to win 9-6. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch a spot in the American League Championship Series tonight. That game is 7 p.m. for Game 4 in the series.
The supervisor appointed by the province to oversee Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping the highly debated elementary program review. Families receiving a letter saying, after extensive consultation with parents, educators, and students, I have concluded that the changes planned to elementary education would have been highly disruptive. For these reasons, the elementary program review with trustee-approved changes will not proceed. Trustees approved the review in May. It included a slate of changes to programs, grade structures, and boundaries. It would have forced around 1,500 more students than normal to change schools next September. It also would have eliminated middle school French immersion and closed alternative schools. The supervisor says more details about the new approach will be shared in the months ahead. The U.S. president expressed a shift in tone towards Canada during a critical sit-down with the Prime Minister at the White House, but it wasn't enough to get a resolution or even a partial one across the finish line.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
Yesterday's meeting comes after months of Trump slapping massive tariffs on Canada and other countries. And Mark Carney's second trip to the White House since being elected prime minister. Attending with Carney was Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, Industry Minister Melanie Joly, and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson. Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kirsten Hillman, was also at the meeting.
A judge handed down 18-month conditional sentences to the 2 leaders from the Freedom Convoy, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, at the Ottawa courthouse. Leach and Barber left court to cheers and applause. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a 6-month curfew for 6 months, and Leach will have for 3.5. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it did not absolve them of liability. Here's more from Leach and Barber's lawyers.
We are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief. But as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think the judge wanted to make sure in her decision today and even in her decision on conviction that protest is allowed. That's not the issue. It's the manner of the protest.
Take a look at this. Before the sentencing hearing even started, our cameras caught a scuffle outside the courthouse between supporters. Punches were thrown and one person was arrested.
Ottawa police are looking to identify a person of interest in connection with a deadly stabbing last week. A man was found with multiple stab wounds on St. Laurent Boulevard last Thursday morning, but died in hospital. Since then, he has been identified as 55-year-old Justin James Weir. Investigators released this video yesterday of a man who was seen in the area around the time of the fatal incident. Police are asking anyone with information about him to contact the homicide unit.
Local landscapers may soon have to get a license to do their work as the city looks to stop contractors from doing work that doesn't comply with municipal zoning laws. A city report recommends a new business license requirement for hardscaping contractors operating in Ottawa. If approved, contractors who install, interlock, or pave on private property would need to obtain a license from the city. It would cost $441 every year.
Scientists are studying a glacier on the slopes of Mont Blanc and to try to learn more about the effects of climate change.
And what we have observed over the years is that the glacier is slowing down. And this is a sign that there is less input of mass to the glacier from snowfall. So undoubtedly a sign that things are not going well.
After another hot summer in the Alps, glaciologists are studying the glacier on the Italian side of the mountain.
They are conducting topographical and geophysical surveys, and while their results won't be available for some time, their initial impression is that this summer's heat was damaging. That's even despite a decent amount of snow this spring and a shorter summer. And I would imagine that their studies just slow moving like a glacier.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like rapid information. It takes time to gather all that information and then distill it and then come out with their ideas and theories. So slow like a glacier.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Well, we do have some cooler conditions this week as well, but you know what? I'm going to let you deliver the good news and the bad news today, Will, because I am heading outside to talk about a very important matter with the Ottawa Mission and why they are in need of some turkeys and some help. So I'll go have that conversation and you can take over the weather.
Yeah, you head out there for now. We got you covered over here. As you head over, we'll take a look at our weather picture of the day. Lucy sends us in the beautiful moon. It was taken around 5:45 in the morning in Rockland. Oh, we always love to see those photos. Thanks for sending it in.
Weather picture brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating. Just box me up.
And we always love to see your photos. You can send them to us at weathershots@ctv.ca, and we will try to get that photo on air on Your Morning Ottawa. And taking a look at the forecast over the last couple of days, we've seen a little bit of everything. Back-to-back record-setting daytime highs and then plenty of rainfall yesterday. We saw more rainfall yesterday in that period than we saw throughout the entire month of August, just to show you how much rainfall we saw. A little bit of a different picture today. Temperatures will be around 15 degrees, which is a return to our typical average that we usually see this time of year. Back in 2011, though, 26.5, which is a little bit more similar to what we saw earlier in the week with those daytime record highs. Right now, temperatures sitting at 6 in Pembroke, 9 in Ottawa. We are at 11 in Cornwall, 10 into Brockville. Now, we are still seeing the chance for a little bit of rain activity over the next couple of hours as we continue to work through our day. Then we will start to see some sunshine open out as we get closer towards the weekend forecast. So that sunshine is coming back just in time. Taking a look at that rainfall right now, though, we still have a chance for some precipitation kind of lingering throughout the morning window. As we get to the afternoon, it looks like the chance of precipitation starts to diminish each and every hour, which is really good. Daytime high values for today on your Wednesday: 12 in Pembroke, double digits in Bancroft and Trenton, 15 in Kingston and Kentville. We are twinning in Ottawa and Cornwall as well at 15 degrees, right around that seasonal for this time of year. 10 in Kittajibi. We got 15 in Gatineau, 13 in Tremblant, and 17 into Montreal. Your school forecast. Yesterday, you did not want to leave home without your umbrella, both on the morning pickup as well as when you picked up the kiddos from school. We were seeing showers continue on. 9 degrees with a chance for some showers this morning, so definitely feeling a little bit cooler. And those numbers will continue to drop with the overnights over the next couple of days as we get really close towards that freezing mark. So some crispy mornings ahead, so we're going to need to multi-layer in the morning hours. And then in the afternoon, it does change a little bit. So rainfall expected through the day today, but then as we get through Thursday into the start of the weekend, the sunshine makes a glorious return and temperatures become above seasonal once again. The biggest difference that we're seeing over the next couple of days is those overnight lows. So we get down to 1 here in the capital with a chance for some showers. Then as we get into Thursday and Friday, we start to get a little bit warmer and warmer, and then a beautiful weekend ahead. Nothing but sunshine with that beautiful sun expected to continue all weekend long.
7-day weather forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating 80 years in family business.
And as we take a peek at your roads in this hour, a collision on the 417 eastbound at Richmond and Bayshore Drive. The right lane and the right shoulder is closed. We also have light congestion building between Maitland and Parkdale, so definitely seeing some delays on your morning commute. So put in a little bit of extra time. Melissa, over to you.
Well, the Ottawa Mission is facing a critical shortage of turkeys as they hope to feed thousands this weekend. Joining us this morning, we have CEO Peter Tilley and Chef Rick. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today. Of course, this is a conversation that we need to have because there is a massive turkey shortage for you as you hope to feed thousands as you head into the weekend.
Yes, thank you for hosting us, Melissa, this morning, because we're putting out a shout to the public and the community, and thanks to support like your station here, we're getting the message out. We need frozen turkeys. They can drop them at our receiving door. The Canada Post strike has hurt us, certainly. A big part of our Thanksgiving campaign is the purchases of turkeys through that direct mail campaign, because so many people still prefer to write a check and put it in the mail, and we've lost that. So we're putting out the word, and people have responded. We had the 3 local Loblaws stores within this area yesterday drop off 20 turkeys each, so 60 frozen turkeys, because they just heard the shout out and decided they want to make a difference, the 3 store managers within this area. So that was wonderful, and we're continuing the push.
Oh, that's incredible. And show us the beautiful meal that you hope to serve this weekend, Chef Rick, because you have created this. I have tried it before. I know it's decadent and delicious.
Yes, the clients really enjoy it. We'll be serving 17,000 of these by the time we're done Thanksgiving. We started with our food truck on Monday, and we'll be traveling around the food truck for the whole week. And then on Sunday, our doors will open up at the Mission at 11 a.m. until 5 p.m., and everyone's welcome. Anyone that wants the Thanksgiving meal.
And you have the whole fixings in there as well. You got your turkey. Tell us what else you have inside.
We have mashed potatoes, green beans, glazed carrots, savory stuffing, oven roast turkey, and giblet gravy.
Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Okay, so tell us how the public can still help, because you still need more turkeys even though you did get a good donation.
Yeah, we've been trying to direct people to go online to ottawamission.com, make a donation. They're so expensive to purchase turkeys nowadays, any groceries as we see, and encouraging people to donate that way, Melissa. But also our receiving dock doors are open from 7 to 5. It's just off of Waller onto Besserer, and people can come drop off frozen turkeys. Ring the bell if we're not there, but our shipper receiver will be there to welcome them, and we'll accept frozen turkeys right up till Thanksgiving.
Other items needed as well besides frozen turkeys, or is it just the frozen turkeys at this point?
How are you doing for other items, Chef?
Carrots, potatoes, anything like that is useful as well, because it takes a lot of food to produce that many meals.
Absolutely. And how does this year for Thanksgiving compare to other years? Because it seems like every year it's just getting harder and harder to make ends meet and put food on the table.
You hate to always be saying a record number of people are homeless on the streets of Ottawa, but 3,000 people are homeless on the streets of Ottawa, or in Ottawa. 3,000 are homeless, 500 on the streets of Ottawa, record number. We're still at full capacity since the pandemic broke, where we've had mats down every night, and we've got 15 to 20 people sleeping in the waiting area, and plastic chairs are curled up on the floor, Melissa, and winter hasn't even hit. So same thing with our Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter Monday meals, where record numbers are coming in. Last year was a record number of over 17,000, and we're expecting the same on a nice day. We certainly get more people who come in from all around the city, south of Bank, Vanier, Overbrook. It'll be a busy day.
And what's the reaction when people get this beautiful Thanksgiving meal that they get to enjoy?
The word I always hear from our volunteers who come in for that day is gratitude. Some who have never served the people are just shocked by the gratitude. The thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. And it still strikes me 12 and a half years in is the gratitude of people. I ran into somebody in the community the other day who's housed, has a job, and he was telling me, say hi to Chef Rick for me, because he still remembered Chef serving him on his first day when he came into the mission. You know, we're talking 17 years ago.
Wow, so incredible. And just really quickly, people can donate online or just drop off turkeys at your receiver door, potatoes and carrots as well.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, thank you both so much. And we hope to get those turkeys so everybody can get fed this weekend, as you do hope to feed over 17,000 people right here in our city.
Unbelievable.
Rosie, over to you.
Coming up next, your chance to win a trip to Jamaica. Ashley and Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94, they join us momentarily to tell us how. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Looks like the sun's coming up there. Slight chance of afternoon showers. 7:15, you're watching Your Morning Ottawa.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Good morning, happy Wednesday. Here are the big stories happening today on Your Morning Ottawa. The Ottawa Carleton District School Board Supervisor is scrapping the controversial elementary program review, which included changes to programs, grade structures, and school boundaries. Convoy leaders Tamara Leach and Chris Barber have been placed on house arrest after being found guilty of mischief charges related to the 2022 occupation of downtown Ottawa. And the Toronto Blue Jays failed to sweep the Yankees in Game 3 of the ALDS last night. New York best Toronto 9-6 in the Bronx.
In your forecast today, we could see a few scattered showers later on this afternoon, and temperatures seasonal for the day ahead, sitting at 15 degrees for our daytime afternoon high. Mix of sun and cloud this morning, those chances scattered showers into the afternoon. Tonight, temps dropping all the way to 1 degree, so it will be very cool into the overnight. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at our time saver traffic, and we are seeing very heavy volumes still. If you are heading westbound on the 417, eastbound on the 417 at Richmond, you could see slowdowns, bumper-to-bumper traffic. It is completely backed up this morning, so try and take an alternative route.
Oh, dreaming about the Caribbean? Well, we can take you there right now to South Coast Jamaica, where Pure Country 94's Ashley and Gord are just hanging out, having a great time. Good morning to you both. Good morning. What's going on?
Good morning.
Morning, Rosie.
Beautiful Jamaica, Sandals, South Coast. It is a gorgeous day, shaping up to be sun just starting to come up here. And we're having a great time.
Yeah.
We're not going to lie. We're having a really good time.
The sun is coming up. This is honestly, I think, maybe the best view in the world. And it just it does something to you when you wake up to beautiful sunshine in Jamaica.
Yeah, it really does. Yesterday, we actually had a chance to chat with the general manager here, O'Brien Heron. And I love the way he described the difference of Sandals Resorts.
So the Sexy Sandals South Coast is truly a feeling. That's the best way to actually describe this resort. We're located in a relaxed, remote, underdeveloped part of Jamaica, and it really is a transportive space where time truly stands still. If you're looking for an experience that makes you disconnect to the hustle and bustle of life, reconnect with self, reconnect with nature, then this is the most ideal destination for that experience to truly come to life.
Yeah, he said it best. He really did. And I want to say, although I'm here with my coworker, I mean, he's here with his wife, it is romantic. I mean, if you just look behind us, you can sort of see they've got these like really cute little bikes set up. And so you and your wife, you did a little romantic bike ride
We did it
one night.
We've done like 3 date nights. We had a romantic bike ride back to our hotel. It was about a 5-10 minute bike ride. It was absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic for couples. Great for honeymooning.
One of the most amazing and impressive things here at Sandals Resorts is the amount of weddings that happen here. And I'm not surprised. There is an actual over-water chapel with 360-degree panoramic water views. There's even a water aisle as you're walking down. I mean,
right.
It is so stunning. And you can see different spaces set up around the resort. It is called Sexy Sandals South Coast for a reason, but also was named Caribbean's most romantic resort in the 2025 World Travel Awards, and we're not surprised. It is just oozing with romance everywhere you look.
I tell you,
And
Ashley.
speaking of sexy sandals, yesterday I took off my shoes. You got to see my feet. You know what? I'm feeling so relaxed right now.
Why don't we give everyone the code word? How about that? You ready for the code word? This is the code word that you're going to have to enter at ctvottawa.ca, and you're welcome, by the way. I just spared you from seeing that. The code word that you are going to enter to win an all-inclusive trip for two right here to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica is?
Resort.
Enter it now. It's resort.
Ashley and Gord, thank you so much. There he goes. He's Ashley, watch out. It looks like he's going to take the shirt off there. You got to watch him now.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Ashley and Gord, they're enjoying themselves in Jamaica. Get ready for an incredible dream experience. You could be there at Sandals South Coast in beautiful White House, Jamaica, where they are giving away an all-inclusive trip for two. Watch all this week for your daily word codes. The more you watch, the more chances you have to win this incredible getaway. Today's code word is resort. Head over to ctvottawa.ca now and enter for your chance to win with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean. And don't forget, you can listen to Ashley and Gord on the Morning Pickup weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on Ottawa's Pure Country 94. Why don't we take a look right now at TSN's must-see moment.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for this one, we are taking a trip to the Bronx. It was Game 3 of the ALDS. You got the Blue Jays and Yankees, top 5 here. This game tied up at 6s, and Anthony Santander lines it hard to right. Aaron Judge doing Aaron Judge things. A spectacular diving grab for the out. Got it done with his bat and his glove in this one, and he earns your must-see moment. Meanwhile, today on TSN, we've got Game 3 of the WNBA Finals between the Aces and Mercury. It all begins at 7 p.m. Central Time over on TSN 3 and 4. It's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Well, coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Queensway Carleton Hospital wants to encourage more women to get regular mammograms. Our guest is standing by in the Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge, and they are nice and cozy with those bright colors. Much more to come. Stay with us. We will be right back. It is 7:25.
CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
CTV Ottawa is your home for local news.
Katie Griffin, CTV News in the Byward Market.
Centertown.
Canada.
Stittsville. Bringing you local stories that matter the most to you.
Kimberly Fowler in Westboro.
Orleans. Barhaven.
From every corner of the community.
In the Glebe.
Manotick.
Merrickville.
Brockville. From the team you trust, we are CTV News Ottawa.
Live, local, breaking news. CTV News Ottawa.
I'm Rosie Edna.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb. And we have a very important conversation coming up as well for October. It's, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we're going to be chatting with our friends about the importance of mammograms coming up shortly.
Absolutely. I've got my appointment coming up.
Yes.
Yeah,
I had mine a few weeks ago.
There you go.
Really important, you know, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're talking fire safety this week, too. So definitely stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Sounds good.
We'll get right to our news headlines, and we're going to begin with sports. Game 4 of the 5-game series kicks off tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays look to clinch their playoff series against the New York Yankees in New York last night. They gave up an early lead.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out!
It's a tough one. Superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kick-started the Jays offense with a home run. The Yankees stormed back from a 6-1 deficit, exploding for 8 straight runs to win 9-6. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch a spot in the American League Championship Series tonight. That is at 7 p.m. for Game 4 in the series.
The supervisor appointed by the province to oversee Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping the highly debated elementary program review. Families receiving a letter saying, after extensive consultation with parents, educators, and students, I have concluded that the changes planned to elementary education would have been highly disruptive. For these reasons, the elementary program review with trustee-approved changes will not proceed. Trustees approved the review in May. It included a slate of changes to programs, grade structures, and boundaries. It would have forced around 1,500 more students than normal to change schools next September. It also would have eliminated Middle French immersion and closed alternative schools. The supervisor says more details about the new approach will be shared in the months ahead. The U.S. president expressed a shift in tone towards Canada during a critical sit-down with the Prime Minister at the White House, but it wasn't enough to get a resolution or even a partial one across the finish line.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
Yesterday's meeting comes after months of Trump slapping massive tariffs on Canada and other countries, and Mark Carney's second trip to the White House since being elected Prime Minister. Attending with Carney was Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, Industry Minister Melanie Joly, and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson. Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kirsten Hillman, was also at the meeting.
A judge handing down 18-month conditional sentences to the two leaders of the Freedom Convoy, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, at the Ottawa courthouse. Leach and Barber left court to cheers and applause. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a curfew for 6 months, and Leach will have one for 3.5. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it did not absolve them of liability. Here's more from Leach and Barber's lawyers.
We are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief. But as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think the judge wanted to make sure in her decision today and even in her decision on conviction that protest is allowed. That's not the issue. It's the manner of the protest.
What you're seeing right there actually happened before the sentencing hearing even started. Our cameras caught a scuffle outside the courthouse between supporters. Punches were thrown, and ultimately, one person was arrested.
The 53rd annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is on right now.
More than 500 balloons are expected to be a part of this year's festival.
This is gorgeous. Organizers say it started back in 1972 and has grown to be the largest balloon event in the world. The Balloon Fiesta runs until the end of this week.
So we know that Melissa is a no-go, although if she were to take the heights, that it might be in the balloon category. And I think that me and you, though, we would be happily up there in the balloons.
Happy to do it. Just make sure my insurance is all set. So if anything happens, you know, my kid. Yeah, but no, I love that. That would be beautiful. I've never been.
I was going to say, have you ever been up in?
No, have you?
Nope, never.
Yeah.
Always wanted to, never have.
I'd be game. That's
right.
gorgeous. Very, very nice indeed. All right, so we got to take a look at the forecast because right there in Albuquerque, it looked like gorgeous conditions. Here, maybe not the same. Sending that over to Melissa now.
Yeah, a little cooler for us here in the city this morning, but you know what? Not so bad because it'll be much cooler as we head into our overnight tonight. Currently sitting at 9 degrees, getting to see a mix of sun and cloud out there to start things off. 6 out in the valley this morning. And our skies, some areas saw a little sprinkle this morning. We could see more rain on the way later on this afternoon. Between 1 and about 5 p.m. there is a chance of a few scattered showers under 1 millimeter, so not a lot of rain like what we did see yesterday where we almost saw 60 millimeters of rain in the forecast. It will stay nice and dry then over the next few days. Average temperatures for today, a daytime high of 15 here in the city, 12 out in the valley for your daytime high for today. So very normal temps for this time of the year. Your recess forecast for kids, better than yesterday where we saw those thunderstorms. A little bit cloudy this morning. Temperatures in the double digits for your morning recess into the afternoon is when we could see those showers between 1 and about 5 p.m. Temperatures hovering around 15 degrees for your daytime high. Overnight could see a frost advisory in effect late this afternoon, so keep an eye out for that as temperatures fall to 1 degree. Into your day on Thursday, 12, mixed sun and clouds, so lots of sunshine for tomorrow. Those overnight lows, though, right through until Friday, could see a frost warning issued, so keep an eye out for some cooler temperatures into the overnight and early in the mornings. As we head into the long weekend, though, absolutely stunning temperatures climbing into the high teens with lots of sunshine on the way. So things are looking beautiful into our Thanksgiving weekend. On our roads this morning, the collision on the 417 eastbound at Richmond and Bayshore has been cleared. However, it is still backed up because of that. We're seeing major delays between Moody and Greenbank, moderate backups between Woodruff and Parkdale, also heavy on the 417 westbound between Anderson and Innis this morning.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Queensway Carleton is hoping that more women schedule their mammograms. Here with more information, we have Lindsay Wires with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melissa.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A great time to have these conversations about women and their mammograms.
Absolutely. I think at the Queensway Carleton Hospital, we certainly are looking forward to having more people do their mammogram, women, and specifically those under the age of 40 and above.
Okay.
So the Ontario Breast Screening Cancer Program has actually changed they've changed the ability to self-refer. And so for those individuals that are 40 or above, or those who are considered 30 who have high risk, which is a family history and or genetic markers, can come in and do a self-referral. So you don't need to go to your family doc or to your nurse practitioner to be able to come and get a mammogram.
That's amazing. So it's making it more accessible to people at a younger age and just easier to schedule that mammogram.
Absolutely. And so I just turned 40 last year and I got my notice in the mail. And so I took the experience and I videotaped it. And so we have a YouTube video where I go through my entire mammogram experience. The claim right now is I was really actually nervous about it. And so for me, it was important to share that message to women out there and to really normalize the idea of a mammogram. And so I got my piece of paper in the mail and I thought, oh, I'm really nervous about this.
Right.
You think about the old plates and it really being a painful experience. And I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to go through a process and videotape that and make sure that I'm able to share that message to individuals.
Because technology has improved over the years, so the machines are not nearly as maybe uncomfortable as they were in years past. I also had one, and like you, I was a little apprehensive. I was nervous about it. And I said, you know what, it hurt way less than breastfeeding felt for me, so that was kind of my take on it. Why is it important for women to start getting mammograms at the age of 40 and above?
So I think it should be as normalized as blood work, and so you want to be able to have a baseline. And so as you age, as things change, you want to be able to have that kind of initial documentation so that as things change and you get your mammogram, again, every year, every 2 years, depending on your breast tissue, that you then have that baseline. And so if there is any issues that do come up, early detection is key. At the Queensway Carleton Hospital, we certainly are looking at increasing our mammogram suite, and the foundation does have a campaign to really look at moving us into the digital world and continuing to have higher visibility and 3D machines that really get very clear and early detection, which is key.
Which we know is the importance. How can people find more information or to register for this program if they are not currently enrolled in it?
So you can go to our website. We also have the phone number here for Queensway Carleton Hospital to be able to do a self-referral. And really it's important. It takes less than 10 minutes. It is quicker than a drive-through at Tim Hortons. And for me, it was less painful than going to the dentist.
Right. And so even for people who say, I don't have history, I don't feel a lump, I'm not at risk, it's still important for them to go as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To have that baseline and to really make sure that you're bringing and empowering your own care, so that you've got that information at your fingertips. And I think Benjamin Franklin said it best, and that ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So I think it's really important.
That baseline, I think, is so important. And I know that's why I went after breastfeeding. I felt I didn't know my new norm, so I wanted to make sure what I was feeling was my new normal.
Yep, absolutely. And I think, you know, when you look at, you know, your breast tissue and you're doing your monthly self-breast examination, you don't actually really know, is this a breast tissue? Exactly. Is this something happening? And so just really having that baseline and that reassurance that things are okay.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining us today. Rosie.
Thank you, Melissa. Well, your morning just got a whole lot richer. We are giving away $20,000, and it is now time for today's code word. Oh, imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand, a dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Okay, listen up. Today's code word is treat. Head to the contest page on ctvottawa.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word treat along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Ottawa's $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow for a brand new code word. Good luck. Coming up next, lithium-ion batteries are everywhere, but are they putting you at risk? Stay tuned to learn about the hidden dangers and how to prevent a potential fire in your home. That is next during our Fire Safety Week. Our guest is standing by in the CTV Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. There they are. Oh, look at that. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. Some sun peeking through those clouds. Going to be a pretty nice day with a slight chance of afternoon showers. 7:41. You're watching CTV Your Morning Ottawa.
Welcome back, everybody. This week marks Fire Safety Week, and this year the spotlight is on a growing fire hazard in our homes: lithium-ion batteries. From phones and laptops to e-bikers and scooters, the batteries power our lives, but when damaged or improperly charged, they can pose a serious risk. Today, we have Leanne with the Ottawa Fire Services joining us this morning to talk all about this. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I think this is a really important topic because it's not something I think everyone thinks about when it comes to that. So first, let's talk about the description of what the battery is.
So a lithium-ion battery is a device, is a lot of power put in a very small spot. So it's got a whole bunch of different cells within it, and those get charged and recharged and can be used over and over again. But as you said, if they're not used properly or treated with the respect that they really deserve, then they can lead to problems.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those problems. What are the hazards that people might not be aware of and they really should be?
So one of the big things that people aren't aware of is just how many we have in our home. The average residential home has about 100 batteries in use at a time. 75 of them are lithium ion.
Oh my goodness, like look at all what you have here.
This is just a small array of what things can be found at home. It goes all the way from like your electric toothbrush, your battery operated drills, or even battery-operated lawnmowers and things, plus kids' toys with batteries, cell phones, tablets, laptops, our smartwatches, earphones, and any of the electric cigarette products that are out there. So we need to know that when we're buying them, we have to look for a certified product. So we're looking to make sure that they're tested by a certified listed company to ensure that they meet the stringent standards that we have within Canada. Then once we have them, we want to make sure that we're charging them responsibly and safely, which means that we're charging them to the capacity they're allowed, so we're not overcharging them. So like I like to joke, if it's at 100%, it's not going to get any higher, so unplug it.
Yeah.
Don't leave it plugged in. Also, one of the big things we tend to see is, especially unfortunately with teenagers and kids, and even adults are guilty of it, they like to take their phone to bed with them. Well, your bed is not a charging station. And if it gets in there, it overheats and overcharges, and that can actually cause a fire. And if you imagine, you're in bed with it. So you've got a bit of a danger there. Also, you want to make sure that you're using the appropriate chargers with them. So I preferably stick with the one from the manufacturer, but sometimes we all know we need to get new ones because they break in this. Get one that's recommended by that manufacturer. Don't just go out and buy the cheapest one that you can find. because it may not be compatible with your device, which could lead to overcharging and overheating.
Yeah, and we don't want that. You know, you mentioned it with the phone by the bed, and in our video that we showed up there, like the e-scooter catching fire at a store,
Yes.
and then in seconds, the entire store was lit on fire.
Yes.
So where would you recommend, especially these household items that so many people have at home,
Yeah.
where would you recommend charging them, and at what time to be as safe as possible?
So the best thing is try not to charge them overnight. I do know that some newer devices we're lucky enough that they're coming with the trickle charge ability so that they're taking the longer time. But you always want to make sure that they're being charged on a hard surface. So never on something soft, never like on the couch, on the bed, anything like that. Never in direct sunlight either. So keep them out of heat or extreme cold temperatures because that in itself can cause issues with them. And we want to make sure that we're just charging them according to the manufacturer's instructions, especially when it comes to e-bikes and e-scooters. Those ones really, I know a lot of the times we say, I don't need instructions. Yeah, please read the instructions because some of them give specific lengths of time that you're allowed to charge these devices for. Also, never charge big items such as that in front of an exit. Because if they do catch fire, which can happen, it goes quick, and now you've lost your ability to get out.
Yeah, and we don't want that. And you make such a good point of, you know, it's not going to get anywhere beyond 100%. And even I've noticed sometimes if you leave it in during the day or overnight, and like your phone could be really warm.
Yep.
Is that like an early sign of something could potentially happen?
That is an early sign. So early signs to look for are any type of excessive heat on the device, any type of odd smell, popping noises, or if you notice any type of swelling with the battery, those are immediate indications to stop using it. You also want to avoid damaging them. So especially with the e-scooters, try not to like bump into the curbs, not dropping it over and things like that.
Yeah.
Same with tablets and cell phones and stuff like that. Cell phones, I know we drop them, but make sure you've got a good protective case on it so that the dropping is not going to affect the battery as much.
Okay, yeah, definitely avoid, especially on the e-scooters, bumping for multiple reasons. Number one, safety, as well as a lithium-ion battery. Leanne, if people are looking for additional information, where should they head to for Fire Safety Week?
They can look at, all week, we're going to be posting on our Twitter account, which is OttFire Prevent, and you can find all different tips. But you can also go to a website that's done by the Ontario Fire Marshal, and it's called chargedforlife.ca, and there's lots of information there. And we will also be out all week at different locations, some of them that are actually retail partners with a company called Call to Recycle, which is a recycling company for batteries. So we'll be out at those places, so you can look for us all week. Another place, though, to look to if you want to is our city website.
Okay.
Which will also, if you go to the City E-Waste Explorer, will tell you more appropriate ways to dispose of them if you have batteries you need to get rid of.
Wonderful, and we have it on our website too, ctvottawa.ca, for everything we'll have here today. Leanne from Ottawa Services Fire, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have much more to come on CTV Your Morning Ottawa. A lot to get through. We're only cruising through about halfway part of the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Great, that was awesome. Thank you.
Welcome back to Your Morning Ottawa. The Toronto Blue Jays could not sweep the New York Yankees on Tuesday night, meaning the American League Division Series continues. With more on Game 3 and what to expect for tonight's crucial Game 4 in New York, CTV News reporter Sean Leathong joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Sean. You got to walk us through Game 3.
Well, it couldn't have started any better, Rosie, for the Toronto Blue Jays. You had Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going yard in the bottom of the first and jumping out to that 2-0 lead. And then in the third inning, the Jays extending that and making it a 6-1 game. And it seemed like they were on their way to a sweep in this series, but the New York Yankees had other ideas, clawing back a little bit in the bottom of the third. And then the fourth inning was really where things changed. The entire momentum changed in the game. It was 6-3 at the time when Aaron Judge stepped up, 2 men on, and he hit one out. This stadium completely erupted last night. And from that point on, even though the game was tied at 6, it seemed to almost be a foregone conclusion that the Blue Jays would lose and the Yankees were going to win. They put up 3 more runs to win 9-6. The go-ahead run came on a home run by Jazz Chisholm Jr. It seemed like that home run was merely a formality. They pushed forward. The Jays seemed that they couldn't do anything right for the remaining few innings. The Yankees couldn't do anything wrong. And here we are today. Now, it looks like the Yankees will be putting Cam Schlittler on the mound tonight, starting for them, and he was brilliant against the Boston Red Sox in the American League Wild Card Series just about a week ago, going 8 strong innings, striking out 12. He has pitched against the Blue Jays a couple times this year, and the Blue Jays have gotten to him. They have beat him before, so if the Blue Jays bats can stay hot like they have for the first 3 games of this series, they could be in good shape. On the other hand, the Blue Jays pitching is a whole other story. It's been documented that they were likely to have a bullpen day today, which means that they'll have several pitchers going out, and the bullpen has been probably the weakest point for the Blue Jays throughout this series. They had to receive some strong, solid pitching in the early going, but the bullpen has been giving up runs, mostly in Game 2, and then again last night with those 8 runs that were completely unanswered by the Toronto Blue Jays. So, the Blue Jays come out hitting strong tonight, it could end tonight. If they don't, it's back to Toronto for Game 5 on Friday.
All right, thank you so much, Sean Lee Thong, CTV News reporter. Appreciate your time this morning.
Milestone celebrations to get on with. October 8th, happy birthday to Aiden, love mom, dad, and your fur brothers, Max and Charlie. That's numero 1 on the day. Happy 5th birthday to Bodie. Keep on being you. Love mommy, daddy, poppy, nanny, papa, and grandma. We got a happy 13th birthday, Carter. Love your mom, dad, Trevor, Logan, Chase, Kai, and all your grandparents. Happy 12th birthday to Grace. Love mom, dad, Haley, Jacob, and all of your family. And we have a very special birthday, Edie Lamb. Yes, our very own Melissa Lamb. Oh, living some love over there. I see the smile on her face. Happy 4th birthday. Love mommy, daddy, Brinley, Tegan, your dog Posey, Nana Papa, Granny Papa, and all your aunts, uncles, and cousins, and of course, Auntie Missy. Keep smiling, beautiful girl. We love you. If you have a milestone, celebrate it with us. Send us your birthday announcements for kids turning 13 and under, and for those turning 100 years or more, and wedding anniversaries for those celebrating maybe 50 or even beyond that. Just email us your morning Ottawa milestones at ctv.ca, and we will get that announcement on air to share it with our viewers.
The supervisor for Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping controversial changes to elementary school programs in Ottawa.
It's a drive down the line. If it's fair, it's his moment. It is. It's tied. Judge.
That was the turning point. The Toronto Blue Jays can't fend off Aaron Judge at Yankee Stadium as New York staves off elimination in the ALDS.
And now, and I'm running out of time, but this is in many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going.
Prime Minister Mark Carney leaves Washington without a deal as U.S. President Donald Trump once again hints at his threats to annex Canada. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning, happy Wednesday. I'm Rosie Edna.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb, and we got a lot of rain yesterday, but you know what wasn't raining so much? The Toronto Blue Jays bats.
No, they didn't do so hot. And
Yeah.
I think people were really excited because they had such a great start to the game. And Rosie, you know you're a big fan and you were hoping, but you feel good about tonight?
I do,
Yeah.
I do. I think that they just got to get their feet wet in the Bronx.
Yes.
Right? It's a little different story when you're playing at home and then all of a sudden you get to a different stadium.
Yeah,
and
different energy from the crowd.
Exactly. So now they know what to expect. They're good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so we're going to start with that with the Blue Jays because Game 4 of the 5-game series kicks off tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays look to clinch their playoff series against the Yankees in New York. Last night, though, they gave up an early lead.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out.
Great start. Superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kickstarted the Jays offense with a home run. The Yankees stormed back from a 6-1 deficit, exploding for 8 straight runs to win 9-6. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch a spot in the American League Championship Series tonight at 7 p.m. for game number 4 in the series.
The supervisor appointed by the province to oversee Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping the highly debated elementary program review. Families receiving a letter saying, after extensive consultation with parents, educators, and students, I have concluded that the changes planned to elementary education would have been highly disruptive. For these reasons, the elementary program review with trustee-approved changes will not proceed. Trustees approved the review in May. It included a slate of changes to programs, grade structures, and boundaries. It would have forced around 1,500 more students than normal to change schools next September. It also would have eliminated middle school French immersion and closed alternative schools. The supervisor says more details about the new approach will be shared in the months ahead. U.S. President Donald Trump expressed a shift in tone towards Canada during a critical sit-down with the Prime Minister at the White House, but it wasn't enough to get a resolution or even a partial one across the finish line.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
Yesterday's meeting comes after months of Trump slapping massive tariffs on Canada and other countries, and Mark Carney's second trip to the White House since being elected Prime Minister. Attending with Carney was Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, Industry Minister Melanie Joly, and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson. Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kirsten Hillman, was also at the meeting.
A judge handing down 18-month conditional sentences to the 2 leaders from the Freedom Convoy, Tamara Lich and Chris Barber, at the Ottawa courthouse. Lich and Barber left court to cheers and applause. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a curfew for 6 months, and Lich will have one for 3.5. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it did not absolve them from liability. Here's more from Lich and Barber's lawyers.
We are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief. But as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think the judge wanted to make sure in her decision today and even in her decision on conviction that protest is allowed. That's not the issue. It's the manner of the protest.
And what you're seeing right there actually happened before the sentencing hearing even began. Our cameras caught a scuffle outside the courthouse between supporters. Punches were thrown and one person was arrested.
Ed Sheeran has announced a new one-shot music experience.
Yeah, this special follows Sheeran along the streets of New York, and he surprises fans with impromptu performances.
One Shot with Ed Sheeran premieres on Netflix on November 21st.
Looks good.
All right, what do you got for us? Because yesterday it was downpouring.
Yes, yesterday it was soggy. Today, not so bad. We could see a light sprinkle later on this afternoon, but we're starting off your day with a little bit of sunshine. Mix of sun and cloud right there. Outside right now, we're sitting at 9 degrees. Similar temperatures throughout the region. Not too cool as you head outside, but we could see this light scattered shower into the afternoon, mainly between 1 and about 5 p.m. later on today. If we see some rain, that's when we will see it. Just under a millimeter, so not a lot of rain, unlike yesterday where we saw just under 60 millimeters of rain. 15 is your daytime high for today, so fairly average temperatures, normals 14.5, so we'll be hovering right around there. And over the next couple of days, overnight lows will be the big story because it will be quite cool. We could see a frost advisory issued late this afternoon as temps do drop to 1 degree later on tonight. 12 is your high for tomorrow, so slightly cooler, but lots of sunshine and more sunshine as we head into the weekend. So the weekend is looking absolutely spectacular. It's just the overnight lows overnight tonight and through Friday that will be a little bit cool. On your drive in this morning, here's a live look at your time saver traffic. That earlier morning incident has been cleared. You could see the split in through downtown. Still a little heavy past Saint Laurent Boulevard if you are heading westbound on the 417. It does pick up past Nicholas. Other than that, no significant delays to report.
Inspire the Great Canada. We've got the founder here with us, Taylor Benjamin, and this organization is partnering with Atletico Ottawa for their Thanksgiving weekend matchup, and we're going to talk about how that collaboration is taking place and how it's going to inspire people to help out a great cause. Good morning to you, Benjamin. It's great to meet you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me about Inspire the Great Canada? What's it all about?
Okay, well, Inspire the Great Canada is essentially a not-for-profit community development organization.
Yeah.
We're primarily focused on bridging gaps in athletics and access to education. And that's primarily done through programming, mentorship, skill-building workshops to offer to underprivileged youth.
Yeah, this is wonderful because it shows the greatness that this country is, right? You can live up to that greatness through volunteering, through these nonprofit organizations, and it helps youth get active, get involved. How is that going to match up with the match with Atletico this weekend? How is that working?
Well, I think there's a few things there. Number one, we are definitely an organization that's focused on sport and access to sport, and hopefully in the future we have a direct pipeline to them. I think it's very important, number one, to recognize the support where we are working towards a common goal, supporting access to sport itself, but also supporting a larger organization that can shed visibility. So I think there's alignment and intersectionality there.
So this weekend, the matchup, Atletico, they're playing to win, but they're also supporting your cause. So if folks come into the match, a part of the proceeds, how will it work? A part of the proceeds will go to your Inspire the Great Canada?
Yes, very much. Well, not some of the proceeds. Part of the proceeds will go into the Caldwell Family Center.
Okay.
So $1 for every ticket sold will be contributed to them in fighting food insecurity. So that's one thing.
Okay.
The next aspect is we're looking for donations for gently used, I call it football, but we call it soccer equipment.
Yes,
so that we can provide youth within priority neighborhoods and youth within certain schools access to equipment. This is something that was identified by some of my colleagues and some of my partners as well.
So important. Okay, all of you heading out to Atletico or thinking about it, you go to the match this weekend, October 12th.
Yes.
And if you can bring some lightly used sporting equipment, football, soccer equipment, that'll help. That'll go towards the youth in your organization.
Very much so. So October 12th, 3 p.m., TD Place. Very exciting match. They're coming off a very exciting match as well.
Yes.
Great quality football from Atletico Ottawa. Very much looking for support in the form of donations and physical donations.
There
We're
you
looking
go.
for gently used equipment.
Taylor Benjamin, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Melissa.
Have your phone at the Thanksgiving table this weekend? We'll find out with our etiquette expert coming up next, the do's and don'ts of Thanksgiving. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. As we head toward Thanksgiving and the holiday season, many of us will be gathering around festive tables. And with the return of business travel and in-person meetings, power lunches are also making us a comeback to help us navigate dining with confidence. We are joined with etiquette expert Julie Black-Como. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Will.
Good morning.
I always love a little etiquette refresher, especially coming up with Thanksgiving, because it's important to remind us of our table manners, right?
Yes. So let's keep it simple.
Okay.
And let's start with the little ones. If you have little ones at the table, so we're going to go B and D.
B and D.
B and D. So our bread plate would be to the left.
Okay.
And D, our drinks would be to the right. So the children can identify their space, their place setting.
I love that.
Or for the adults, BMW.
BMW.
Bread, meal, water, or wine. That would be on your right.
Okay, so what's the proper way to get this tablescape looking, intricate and proper.
So everything that's here is used from the outside in.
Okay.
So if you get to the table, like, and you're wondering, okay, which one should I use? We went quite easy here today.
Okay.
So you're always going to go to the outside, and then you're going to work your way in. So as we look over here, we're probably going to start with a soup course. So maybe like some kind of potage or something like that. So my spoon would be here. And then for the meal, I have my fork and my knife. And at the top, the dessert utensils. And they would be coming down. So if you take a look at where our handles are, they would be sliding down. So, Will, your fork would come back
so this would come
at
like
the
this.
time of dessert to replace your dinner fork, and the spoon would come on down. So you're just a little slide.
Okay, let's talk about passing dishes. Let's say if I would like this dish over here, what's the proper etiquette in passing it?
And I love that you said like this dish over here. So you're going to look at the person that is closest, or if you are closest to the bread. For example, right now, I would take it in, I bring it in. Would you like some bread?
I would love some bread, thank you.
So then Will takes his bread. I serve myself, and this may surprise our viewers today. So to the left, to me, and then Beyonce, she says to the left, to the left.
Yeah.
Julie Etiquette says to the right,
to the right. I love it.
So
okay.
everything's going to go to the right.
I love that. And then I would serve myself and I would pass it along. Okay, I love that. Let's talk about the cue for when the meal is done. Like, let's say I'm done my plate, I don't want to eat anymore. How do I let people know?
Well, let's take a look at your place setting right now, Melissa.
Okay.
So pretend we have a clock. So we have 12, 6, 3, and 9. Notice that we have between the 3 and the 6, so at about 4 o'clock, the utensils are there.
Okay.
Keep in mind the blade of the knife should always be towards you, because or else it may be perceived as aggressive.
Oh, okay.
And in restaurants, the service personnel will always take away from the right. So we're making it easy on them.
I love it. Let's talk quickly about phone etiquette, because our friend Willie Bear here has decided to go lounging and just enjoy a little talk and text instead of enjoying dinner. Phones at the table.
Yeah, so number one, you may want to do that in the invitation, and you're going to say something like, we're going to make face-to-face memories, and as your guests come in, there could be a basket at the door, and then you're going to make a pact, right? We're going to take that picture, we're going to put it on Instagram, wherever we want, everybody together, let's do the picture, cheese. And the cheese, you're going to ask permission, right? Please, before cheese, if everybody's comfortable posting. But the basket at the onset is perfect. Should someone like Will extend their fingers and go over to get it, well, Will, I just recruited you for the dishes, okay? Kids and adults as well.
Be aware, no phones at the table.
It's
I
the
love
worst.
that. Yeah,
like it is. I
absolutely
can't
is.
stand like the phones at the dinner table, lunch anytime, because you're having that conversation with people. So it's just put it away. My sister also strives that as well. So.
Okay, I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Welcome.
We truly appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
All right, so guess what? Are you going to be a little bit happy if you can get, I don't know, maybe $1, $2, or $20,000? Because your Morning Ottawa just got a whole lot richer. We are giving away that 20 grand, and it is time for today's code word. You can do whatever you please. Maybe you need a new set of china for Thanksgiving as it comes up, or you want to go on a splurge vacation, whatever you want. It's your money to do with as you please. Today's code word is treat. How fitting. So, what you want to do, head over to our contest page, ctvottawa.ca, or you can scan that QR code on the right side of your screen. Enter the code word treat, along with your info for your chance to win CTV, Your Morning Ottawa's $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow, though, as well, because we will have a brand new code word for you to enter. Good luck. Hey, something we didn't see yesterday, the sun shining on our building here on George Street, but the rainfall, could it still be here this afternoon? Potentially, but a beautiful weekend looking ahead. Stay with us. We are cruising up to 8:22 on your Wednesday. We'll be right back.
The Ottawa Valley Filipino-Canadian Senior Citizens Association is celebrating their 30th anniversary in style. And joining us with all the details, we have Novi Ramos and Elva Moles. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Can you tell us a little bit about your association to start off with? Because 30 years, that's incredible.
Yeah, we are the OVSCA, the Ottawa Valley Filipino Seniors Association here in Ottawa. And we are celebrating our 30th years anniversary this next week.
Wow.
So we are really here to invite all the Filipino people, not only the Filipinos, but also other people who wanted to join and celebrate with us this coming October 18.
Okay, and what sorts of events and festivities do you celebrate with the association? Will there be lots of gatherings and celebrations?
Oh, we have lots of singing and dancing, lots of food, and showcasing our
your fashion.
Yes.
Okay, well, we do have a little fashion show for you, so let's call in our first model here this morning and we can find out what she's wearing.
Let us present to you our vice chairman. Her name is Chit Villanueva, and she's wearing a long modern Filipiniana.
Beautiful. These sleeves are quite elegant. Can you tell me a bit about them? Because
yes, actually, this is promoted by our previous First Lady. She promoted it all over the world. That's why her name is Imelda Marcos, and until now, these sleeves or these gowns are really known as a Filipino cultural dresses or national dresses.
They're absolutely stunning. I always love a little good puff sleeve, so I love that these are very intricate.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's call in our second model to see her look. This is beautiful as well.
Belinda Yabot. She is our membership committee coordinator, and she's also wearing a nice and beautiful modern Filipiniana and Maria Clara.
Okay, and where would you wear a dress like this? Is it for celebrations?
Mostly, yes. We have also a Philippine independence, and we are also wearing this kind of featuring our very own Filipiniana clothes.
Beautiful. Okay, and let's call in our last models of the morning.
Next here we have the mother and son, Uzi and Milita Di Mihelio. They are both wearing modern Maria Clara, and for men we call it the barong.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. And look at that little spin. So this is for mother and son, you said?
Yes.
I love that. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll call all of our models in one last time. Can you tell us about some of the programs that your association offers?
We do have lots of programs. We have Zumba. We have mental wellness workshops. We do have some mall walk once a month from St. Laurent and Bayshore. So much activities that we offer to our members.
And for more information, you can go to the website on your screen, of course,
please.
as well.
We do have ovska.ca, and you can call our hotline 1-888-706-7648.
Perfect. Well, thank you both so much for joining us, and thanks to all of our beautiful models for joining us as well today.
Hey, please support us.
One of the city's most...
It will be at the Preston Event Center.
Perfect.
On October 18th. Please join us.
October 18th. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, one of the city's most flavorful culinary experiences is fast approaching. Coming up, we're going to get a little sample of Crave Food and Wine Festival and find out what's on the menu this year.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Willa Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb, and I'm getting super excited because we're going to be previewing the Crave Food and Wine Festival coming up. So delicious eats and drinks and combining everything together, all the flavors. I can't wait.
That will be nice. You gave us beautiful weather for the past like 1,800 days. I'm exaggerating slightly. Yesterday, a little bit wet. Today, we'll see what happens.
Not so bad. It's kind of a little of this, a little of that.
It's all right. Everything will look up towards the weekend, which is what a lot of sports fans are hoping for tonight as well. That is our lead story. We'll kick it off with the Blue Jays because Game 4 of the 5-game series kicks off tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays look to clinch their playoff series against the Yankees in New York. but last night they gave up an early lead.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out!
The sweep not happening. Superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kickstarted the Jays offense with the home run. The Yankees stormed back from a 6-1 deficit, exploding for 8 straight runs to win 9-6. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch a spot in the American League Championship Series tonight at 7 p.m. That will be game number 4 in the series.
The supervisor appointed by the province to oversee Ottawa's largest school board is scrapping the highly debated elementary program review. Families receiving a letter saying, after extensive consultation with parents, educators, and students, I've concluded that the changes planned to elementary education would have been highly disruptive. For these reasons, the elementary program review with trustee-approved changes will not proceed. Trustees approved the review in May. It included a slate of changes to programs, grade structures, and boundaries. It would have forced around 1,500 more students than normal to change schools next September. It also would have eliminated middle school French immersion and closed alternative schools. The supervisor says more details about the new approach will be shared in the months ahead.
A judge handed down 18-month conditional sentences to the 2 leaders of the Freedom Convoy, Tamara Leach and Chris Barber, at the Ottawa courthouse. Leach and Barber left court to cheers and applause. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a curfew for 6 months, and Leach will have one for 3.5. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it did not absolve them of liability. Here's a little bit more from both lawyers from Leach and Barber.
We are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief. But as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think the judge wanted to make sure in her decision today and even in her decision on conviction that protest is allowed. That's not the issue. It's the manner of the protest.
What you're seeing right there actually happened before the sentencing hearing even started. Our cameras caught a scuffle outside the courthouse between supporters. Punches were thrown and one person was arrested.
This year's Nobel Prize in Chemistry goes to 3 researchers in the field of metal organic frameworks.
Imagine that the tools of chemistry could be used to create entirely new materials with unheard of properties.
So you might be asking yourself, what are metal organic frameworks? Well, it's a type of metal able to harvest water from desert air, capture carbon dioxide, and store toxic gases.
There were 3 winners today. They are credited for finding a way to put large cavities in the metal so they can hold more things. Oh, wow. Just to have that ability to think in that way, just a sliver of the incredible information and knowledge that they must have in their minds. I would just love to take a window into their minds.
I know, I think about that all the time. Is like, how are people coming up with these ideas and then implementing them? It's so brilliant that it goes beyond my thought process.
I tell you what. Okay, listen, we got to talk about the forecast here. Melissa's got our weather report.
And not a bad looking start to your morning into the afternoon. Very average and seasonal-like conditions in through the day ahead. Currently sitting at 9 degrees, seeing a mix of sun and cloud to start off your morning. And our skies clear right now. We will see sunshine for the next few hours, but then later on today between 1 and about 5, that's when we could see a few scattered showers. So there is a 30% chance of a few scattered showers, less than a millimeter. So not a lot of rain in the forecast for us, unlike yesterday where we saw just under 60 millimeters of rain. Temperatures very seasonal-like for your day ahead. 12 degrees out in the valley, 10 in Kittaginzibi, so slightly cooler to areas to the north of us. But over the next 7 days, absolutely stunning. It's our overnight lows that will be quite cool. Temperatures dropping down to 1 degree tonight. We could see a frost advisory issued later on this afternoon and over the next few days. Temperatures tomorrow reaching a high of 12, lots of sunshine, and the long weekend is looking stunning. Temps into the high teens, lots of sunshine from Friday right through until next week.
Weather brought to you by Yeckendorf Rashid. Experience, knowledge, and a commitment to excellence.
On your highways this morning, the 417, we're still seeing delays between Moody and Island Park. Bumper-to-bumper traffic at Carling as well. Light backups from Island Park to Parkdale. Heavy on the 417 westbound from Anderson Road to Innis, and we're seeing moderate congestion at the split in through Nicholas. Well, the Crave Food and Wine Festival is back, and we're getting a little sample of some of the delicious delights you'll find there. Joining us this morning is Jillian Ainsworth and Tyler Johnston. Good morning to you both today.
Good morning.
So excited. This is always such a fun festival. Can you kind of give us the details, Jillian, about Crave Food and Wine Fest?
Yeah, so it's happening on November 14th and 15th, but Crave Week goes from November 14th to the 16th.
Okay.
And we've got a really great show this year. We have Ari Shore from Beba in Montreal coming. He's going to be doing a pop-up dinner at Arlo on the 16th, but he's also going to be doing demonstrations on the show floor as well as a dinner at the actual show.
Okay, and this is really a great festival for people who like to try different restaurants in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you can learn about different wines as well, especially right now.
For sure, yeah.
As I feel like Canadian wines are really growing.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of producers coming this year. We're going to be featuring a lot of wine. There's been a real movement towards non-alcoholic options.
Yeah.
So I brought you this one here to try today. So this is Leaning Post Verto.
Okay.
Leaning Post is in Niagara and Winona. And this is actually a little different than most non-alcoholic wines because this is actually 0-0. It's made with verjus, which is essentially unripened, the juice of unripened grapes. So it never ferments. It's meant to replicate a nice Riesling sparkling. So really bright acid, elderflower, really, really complex in a way that you don't often find with some non-alcoholic options.
And it definitely has that nice sparkle, which I love.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely a food wine.
Okay, so what would you pair this with typically?
So, you know, anything from oysters to, it's got a real complexity. So, you know, you can go so many different ways with this, but definitely oysters are phenomenal with it.
What about pizza? What would you recommend for pizza?
I mean, for pizza, you can never go wrong with a great Sangiovese.
Okay.
When I'm pairing wine, I like to think about the elements in the dish and, you know, what are they eating where they're making this food? And what are they drinking where they're making it? And Sangiovese with pizza, you know, it's got a nice richness to it. It really is the perfect pairing.
Okay, and Tyler, you guys will be there with Ember. Can you tell us a little bit about your restaurant?
Yeah, of course. So it's an open fire restaurant, so we try to incorporate the flame into every dish, whether it's our charcoal grill or the wood fire pizza oven.
Okay, so what did you bring in store today? I must admit, I was there a couple weeks ago and I tried both these dishes, so I know how delicious they are.
Yeah.
Tell us what we have over here.
So this is our smoky eggplant dip. The eggplants are cooked on the charcoal grill, and then they're blended in with spices and lemon and sesame, and then garnished, and then they're served with our fresh bread that we make in-house.
And the nice thing is you do a really delicious gluten-free bread.
Yeah, it is really good. It's a cauliflower gluten-free bread.
And the nice thing is I know you can cater to a lot of different, you can cater a lot of your menu items to gluten-free as well.
Yeah, the menu is designed around sharing, and
I
it
love
makes
that.
it easy to share. There's lots of options for everybody, whether you're vegetarian, gluten-free.
Okay, and tell us what this menu item is.
So this is our salmon crudo. It's some raw salmon served with citrus ponzu glaze, some pickled chilies, green onion, some garlic chili oil.
Oh my goodness, looks absolutely delicious. I know I've tried it and it is really good. And there are still room for more vendors right now as well.
Yeah, we still have a few spots left for new vendors. So if anybody's interested, they can get in touch at info@craveottawa.ca.
Perfect. And when is the festival running for people who want to get their hands on those early bird tickets?
So tickets are actually on sale now, and you can get them at craveottawa.ca.
Perfect. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate you coming here. It's been delicious, and we really appreciate it. I feel like this non-alcoholic will also work well with that eggplant.
Absolutely.
Tasting the flavors.
You've got the right idea.
Oh yeah, this is really good. And it's so nice to learn and educate ourselves about food and different pairings, non-alcoholic and wine.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's such great non-alcoholic options available now.
I love that. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. And of course, if you have an idea for us in your kitchen, the best way to reach us is yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Here's a live look at our Centennial Glass Sky Cam this morning. A nice bright start to your day, a high of 15 degrees into the afternoon.
Ask the Expert, brought to you by Nelligan Law.
Welcome back, everybody. We are about to enter Ask the Expert, and we want your questions to send them to Nelligan Law. You can live call us at 613-789-6559. Our extension is 2803. Or you can email your questions in, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. And again, that is with Nelligan Law. With several return to office mandates and a number of construction projects on the go in Ottawa, Ottawa roads are getting even busier. Personal injury lawyer Francis Shapiro-Munn is here with Nelligan Law to join us to discuss a little bit more about this. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I think it's the perfect time to have you on because we were just discussing earlier, there's so many questions that people have and you want to know prior to something happening. So when we get on the roads, drivers, pedestrians, what are some key and critical things we should be thinking of right now?
It's so true. It is busier than ever out there right now. So here's what I'd ask drivers and pedestrians to keep in mind. First, everyone out there, you have rights, you also have responsibilities. If you're a driver, you have a bit more responsibilities than a pedestrian. If you're in an accident, there's two things that come into play. First, everyone in Ontario gets something we call accident benefits. What are these? These are no-fault benefits. You have them whether you've caused the accident or not, okay? Usually you make the claim to your own insurance company. If you're a driver, you have your own insurance. If you don't have your own insurance, then you make the claim against the person's insurer who hit you or who caused the accident. Okay? So that's the first thing. What do you get? You get some coverage for your medical needs. You get some income replacement coverage. It all depends on how severely injured you are. The second thing you might have if you're in an accident and you're injured is something we call a tort claim. What is a tort claim? It allows you to start an action against the person who is at fault for the accident. So if you're a pedestrian crossing the road and you're hit by a car, you're injured, you can sue the person who hit you. You can sue for your pain and suffering. You can sue for any income loss you might have, as well as any medical needs you need, not just now, but over the course of the rest of your life.
And we're seeing a lot of those, and the numbers keep upticking, like with cyclist accidents, with pedestrian accidents, even car to car. Once an accident occurs, what is the time available to make that claim? Is there something that you should do right away? Do you call police? Do you get and call insurance? What is the step-by-step guide once you get into that accident?
Yeah, and look, it's hard to think about these things until you're actually in the moment and it's happened to you. But here's some guidance I'd give if you're in an accident. First, if the cars are damaged or you're injured or someone else is injured even a little bit, please call 911, okay? Better safe than sorry. Get the police there, get paramedics there, all right? Police there, really important. They secure the scene, okay? They can do an investigation. They can even hand out some penalties if someone did something they weren't supposed to. Lastly, and this is something we really like as lawyers, it creates a record of what happened. Okay? Paramedics, of course, if anyone is injured, get the paramedics there. They can transport you to the hospital right away. The second thing I'd recommend you do, if you can, or someone can on your behalf, take some photos, all right? What do photos do? Well, they show us how damaged the cars are. Where did the cars end up after the accident? What are the road conditions like? Okay, really important. The third thing I'd suggest, get the names and contact information of witnesses. Again, really important. If you're in an accident, you might not know exactly what happened. Okay? Yeah. So get those witnesses.
And we talked about that right away. You know, as soon as something like that happens, even if it's minor, you might go into a little bit of shock and you're not thinking clearly. So all of these things that can really help you in the future, you know, if it's nice to know that beforehand, even though you're in shock, like, okay, you know what? Let's go back to the basics. I have this step-by-step guide.
That's right. And that's a great point. Something I see a lot is head injuries. Okay? And a lot of people with head injuries think, oh, I'm not that badly injured. I'll just wait. Okay, and then they come see me months or even a year down the road and they say, these headaches won't go away. I can't work the full hours at my job. All I do after I come home is sleep. I never see my children. I can't cook or clean anymore. But they haven't gotten treatment. They haven't gone to see a doctor.
Right, and you need that right away to help you on with the future. And we are going to continue this conversation after we come up from the break with Nelligan Law. So if you have a question for us, you can send them our way. You can call us 613-789-6559. Extension is right there. Or email us yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca with Nelligan Law. We will be right back with those questions if you got them right after the break.
Ask the Expert, brought to you by Nelligan Law.
So we are continuing with our Ask the Expert segment, and here's the contact information for Nelligan Law. Their phone number, 613-238-8080. You could also email them if you have any questions from today's segment or continuing to move forward. info@nelliganlaw.ca. Their website is up there. They are located at 50 O'Connor Street, Suite 300. Frances Shapiro-Munn joins us. She's a personal injury lawyer with Nelligan Law, and we've been talking about the roads are getting busier than ever. We've got cyclists, we've got pedestrians, and we have a lot of cars out on the roads and so much construction. And we're getting into that point right now where, you know, we've had summer kind of push into fall a little bit, right? So we're not really thinking too much about the snowfall and the ice, but as we get to those kind of more slippery months, we should really start preparing for something that could happen and try to mitigate that as much as possible.
Yep, yeah, absolutely we should. Yep, get on your winter tires, please.
Yeah, winter tires, like the all seasons, like winter tires, especially here in the capital, you know, we get all that ice buildup and the snowfall buildup too. Before we kind of get into those months, I know there's a lot of kind of misunderstandings when it comes to people that they have after their crash happens. And we were talking earlier before the break about what you should do. So let's just do a refresher on what are a step-by-step guide for what you should do. And then we'll talk about some misunderstandings that people have after a crash.
Okay, so what you should do, police, paramedics, survey the scene, photos, get witnesses.
Okay, and then what are some things that people might think of, or I'm sure you see on a day-to-day basis or throughout the year, of what they think that they might know, but the law says something very differently?
Yeah, so I have 3 myths I'd like to cover. The first myth is, I was partly at fault for the accident, therefore I can't claim anything. Okay, that's wrong. First, you can always claim no-fault benefits from your accident benefit insurer. Everybody has those in Ontario. Everybody, it gives you some coverage for medical care, perhaps some income replacement coverage as well. The second thing is, in Ontario, we don't just ascribe fault on a 100% basis. Often in an accident, more than one person can be at fault, okay? So let's say there's a crash between a car and a cyclist, and a court decides, well, the car was 75% at fault, but the cyclist was 25% at fault. Well, what does that mean? It means that your damages are reduced by your level of fault. So if you're the driver, you still have a claim for the 25% you're not at fault. To put it simply, okay, if you're awarded $1 million for your damages, you still get 25% of that, $250,000. So it can still be worth it.
And again, you know, that goes back to your first point of get the photos, get the witness statements,
right.
Call the police, so you have all that. So let's say someone comes to you with this case, you have a step-by-step detailed timestamp of all the things that happened with the witnesses, which can really help you in the future because, and I love what we talked about before, was let's say you feel okay in the accident the next day, but you do have maybe a brain injury or a head injury, but you don't start feeling that effects till later on, which starts affecting your work. So we want to try to avoid that with some steps.
Yeah, and that brings me to the second myth I want to address, which is I'm not that badly injured, so I don't need to go see a doctor. Okay, and you're absolutely right, all right? In the moments after an accident, you've got adrenaline coursing through you. You've gone through something that's really put you heightened. You might not feel injured. And you might think to yourself, I'm just going to give this a few days or weeks and see if it passes. Please don't. Please go see medical, get medical help as soon as you can. First, it creates a record. And secondly, you might not be as okay as you think you are. I see a lot of head injuries in what I do. And oftentimes these are people who think that they're okay or that they will be okay, but then they come to see me months or even sometimes a year down the road and they're not okay. And they haven't built up the medical record that we need to prove their case.
It's so amazing. I think it's really important that people understand not just their rights, but the laws, and then how to pre-plan the crash before it even happens, just so you can be in a better spot. Frances, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to get in touch with Nelligan Law on today's topic or potentially some topics in the future, here's their contact information. You can call them at 613-238-8080, or you can email them at info@nelliganlaw.ca. They're located on 50 O'Connor Street, Suite 300. We had Frances joining us. She's a personal injury lawyer from Nelligan Law this morning. Guys, we'll throw it back to you for now.
And we do want to get you up to date really quickly on traffic, because there is a new collision and the traffic is still bumper to bumper. So just let you know, Mayor Bliss southbound traffic disruptions at Copperhead collision. OPS are on scene directing traffic, so avoid that area if you can. And as you can see, still very, very heavy backups from an earlier morning collision on our Queensway. This is 417 in both directions. Eastbound and westbound are both very heavy this morning.
All right, that's all from us here at CTV Your Morning Ottawa for Wednesday, October 8th. We'll see you right back here at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Take good